Just over 27 years to the day after hip-hop icon Tupac Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting, a suspect was arrested and charged with murder in Las Vegas on Friday, a long-sought development in one of the most high-profile open investigations in recent memory. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's Sheriff Kevin McMahill announced Friday morning that Dwayne Keefe D Davis had been arrested. An indictment was handed down by a Nevada grand jury later that day. Clark County District Attorney Stephen B. Wolfson said, "It has taken countless hours, really decades of work, by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today," McMahill said. This investigation began on the night of September 7, 1996. It is far from over. Davis, 60, is the only living person suspected to have been involved in the shooting. He has long denied being the one who pulled the trigger, but has admitted publicly, including in his 2019 tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, to being in the vehicle that pulled up next to Shakur's that fateful night. Wolfson told reporters Davis had been charged with open murder with a deadly weapon and gang enhancement. "We have an aiding and abetting statute which provides that if you help somebody commit a crime, you can be equally as guilty," he said. Las Vegas Police Lieutenant Jason Johansson went further, describing Davis as the shot caller for this group of individuals who orchestrated the plan that was carried out to commit this crime. The police raid on Davis's wife's home 2 months before led to this moment. Documents said police were looking for items concerning the murder of Tupac Shakur. Several computers, a cell phone, a hard drive, a Vibe magazine featuring Shakur, several .40 caliber bullets, 2 tubs containing photographs, and a copy of Davis's memoir were found by police. During a closed-door meeting with federal and local authorities, Davis broke his silence over Tupac's murder in 2010. At the time, he was 46 and facing life in prison on drug charges when he agreed to speak with authorities. "They promised they would shred the indictment and stop the grand jury if I helped them out," he wrote. He has described himself as one of the last living witnesses to the shooting. Johansson, who laid out the timeline of the investigation, said many of the facts outlined in the indictment had been known by detectives for decades, but police were unable to obtain the necessary evidence needed to move forward with an arrest and prosecution until recently. He said additional information was first obtained in 2018 that led investigators back to Davis. Shakur was 25 when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting near the Las Vegas Strip on the night of September 7, 1996. The rapper was in a BMW driven by Death Row Records founder Marion Suge. Night, in a convoy of about 10 cars. They were waiting at a red light when a white Cadillac pulled up next to them and gunfire erupted. Shakur was shot multiple times and died a week later. In 2018, after a cancer diagnosis, Davis admitted publicly in an interview for a BET show to being inside the Cadillac during the attack. He implicated his nephew, Orlando "Baby Lane" Anderson, saying he was one of 2 people in the back seat where the shots were fired. The shooting happened shortly after a casino brawl that same evening involving Anderson, Shakur, and others. Both Davis and Anderson were members of the Southside Compton Crips, a gang whose members had allegedly attacked an associate of Shakur earlier in 1996. Anderson denied any involvement in the Shakur shooting. He died 2 years later in a shooting in Compton, California. Shakur's death came as his 4th solo album, All Eyes on Me, remained on the charts, with some 5 million copies sold. Nominated 6 times for a Grammy Award, Shakur is largely considered one of the most influential and versatile rappers of all time. Shakur was feuding at the time with rap rival Biggie Smalls, also known as the Notorious B.I.G., who was fatally shot in March 1997. At the time, both rappers were in the middle of an East Coast-West Coast rivalry that primarily defined the hip-hop scene during the mid-1990s. Wolfson said Shakur's family was welcoming the news of Davis's indictment and was pleased justice was being served after so long. He added the family was unlikely to attend Davis's arraignment. In a statement Friday, Sekiwa Set Shakur, the rapper's sister, described the arrest as a victory. "This is no doubt a pivotal moment. The silence of the past 27 years surrounding this case has spoken loudly in our community," she said. "It's important to me that the world, the country, the justice system, and our people acknowledge the gravity of the passing of this man, my brother, my mother's son. my father's son. McMahill took time to praise the investigative team, including detectives who had since retired from active duty but attended Friday's announcement. I know there's been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department, he said. I'm here to tell you that was simply not the case. Retired detective says arrest was overdue. Greg Kading, a retired Los Angeles police detective who spent years investigating the Shakur killing and wrote a book about it, said he would not be surprised by Davis's indictment and arrest. It's so long overdue, Kading told the Associated Press during a recent interview. People have been yearning for him to be arrested for a long time. It's never been unsolved in our minds. It's been unprosecuted. Kading said he interviewed Davis in 2008 and 2009 during Los Angeles police investigations of the killings of Shakur in Las Vegas and the slaying of Biggie Smalls. Kading said also that he talked with a Las Vegas police detective about the investigation, including after the SWAT raid at the home in Henderson. The former Los Angeles police detective said he believed the investigation gained new momentum in recent years following Davis's public descriptions of his role in the killing, including his 2019 tell-all memoir. It's those events that have given Las Vegas the ammunition and the leverage to move forward, Kading said. Prior to Keefe D's public declarations, the cases were unprosecutable as they stood. He put himself squarely in the middle of the conspiracy, Kading said of Davis and the Shakur slaying. He had acquired the gun, he had given the gun to the shooter, and he had been present in the vehicle when they hunted down and located both Tupac and Suge Knight. Kading nodded that Davis is the last living person among the 4 people who were in the vehicle from which shots were fired at Shakur and record executive Suge Knight. Others were Davis's nephew Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, Terrence Bubble Up Brown, and DeAndre Freaky Smith. It's a concerted effort of conspirators, Kading said, adding that he believed that because the killing was premeditated, Davis could face a first-degree murder charge. All the other direct conspirators or participants are all dead, Kading said. Keefe D is the last man standing among the individuals that conspired to kill Tupac. The story continues till the government makes the final decision and we get a clear interview on the remaining questions. Subscribe to CopCam and press the bell icon to know more about the story and other. Thanks for watching.